himself. That sounds fun.
Yes! No! Please! No, killing yourself in a plate is the bomb.
Joseph says
So
that's
it's
what
really Like, hello, Joseph.
Okay.
Did you not watch Len is Wrong?
I didn't watch this.
This is us.
Okay. Focus.
Oh, you're
Oh,
recording
yeah.
right now?
No.
Oh yeah. we're
Oh
going
my
on
god,
20.
he's recording.
Don't say bad words.
Bro, shh.
Oh, hello.
Okay. I still decide what we're going to do next year in September. But we'd be thinking over the summer, what kind of issues we want to bring up. Do we want to?
Thank you.
I think suicide is nice because we have a couple kids who killed themselves.
I think it, oh no.
He knows now that I like him. I'll be like all over him.
Teen pregnancy.
Okay, that's awkward. We already got that one. Oh, Miss.
You read miscarriage.
Oh, cancer. Like,
Oh, no, I don't want you to have a miscarriage. Or stay there. No, there's for you.
Some pretty heavy stuff.
But Miss, we can put in miscarriage because miscarriage is also a really big problem here.
Miscarriages.
Abortion.
No, that's not abortion.
Well, actually, yeah, I know abortion would be better. Like she's thinking of aborting the baby.
No, it's more miscarriages happen here more than abortions do. Because we don't have to.
But we
do
don't
that.
want to kill the baby.
Yeah.
We're not gonna kill it. It's gonna be a freak of nature.
It's just gonna come out
dead.
No.
Freak of nature, Jim.
You will not see me the next day. Remember what makes me happy is the baby, only the baby.
That's right.
Yeah. So when the baby dies,
Yeah.
you will
Yeah,
get depressed.
Oh,
But
I
you see,
see.
then you turn to him.
And you get suicidal. We got 2 suicides. That's
Oh my
wonderful.
God.
Wonderful.
Wait, let us
Now I'm waiting, right?
Okay, we'll get that.
Let's go do drugs.
No, wait, can we debate the miscarriage versus abortion?
I
Because
think
abortion would be her
It's
choice.
Marcy's baby. What do you want to do?
Abortion, you want to
What do you want to
abortion?
do?
Listen to Joel.
You want to have a baby?
Come on,
Kill it
Auntie
before it
Joel.
comes out or have it come out dead?
Peer pressure.
Well, the question is, who's the best peer pressure, your sister or Joel?
Of course, it's Joel. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's always Joel. She covers.
So you're scaring me.
You're wearing the crown. You're scaring the baby.
Humans, attention.
Oh, so this is miscarriage.
We could do one on sex. On guys touching girls. Everybody's quiet.
Whoa!
How about person dating an older person?
Oh, I bet me.
Could you
This is
classify
a
it
person
as
dating
guys
another
on this
older
place
person.
being all
That would be
sexy?
so cool. Yeah, that is. So
Well,
you know.
Justin has a girlfriend in the place.
Like an alcohol.
You have one. I'm with drugs.
I have a baby who is not mine. What is more depressing? A back burner friend.
That baby's.
Hey, it's okay. We can get together.
I'm the only guy in this room without a couple. You didn't.
No, you tried to come into Maria. She rejected you. Yeah. Carlo hits on 3 girls.
Can I turn on some
Yeah.
I'm
I have a question. It's obvious you guys have a lot to say and a lot of issues to explore, right? And what made it obvious to me was just now you guys were just ran through so many different issues, okay? And the play is called What We Really Think, right? So I'm going to ask some really tough questions, okay?
Bring it. We'll tell you what we really think.
Okay. So, why'd you put on the show? Who wants to take this first?
Okay. I did the show because Maria wanted to do it. Okay. Sorry, Miss Barbara. I didn't even know you were planning the show until Maria told me.
Okay, so Maria, why did you want to do it?
First, honestly, I was kind of hesitant because I've never done a play without a script, and it was really a test on improv and impromptu skills for me. And I doubted myself a lot because it was my first time to do an improv play, but in the back of my head, I remembered that I just wanted to do it for Miss Barbara.
I feel the same way. See, I promised Miss Barbara that I would do this play and I'd enjoy it. And I'm not the kind of person who would give up halfway. So I did all I can to get it to work. And even though not all of it worked out, I'm happy that this play was just awesome. And I really was happy that I did it.
You guys have way more better reasons than me. I just needed something to do. Seriously, I just needed something to do.
Well,
We're thankful that we're
like,
great time.
Okay, I'm sorry. But during my time, Miss Barbara asked me and I was contemplating it.
Right.
And then I'm like, what am I gonna do?
nothing.
Nothing! Okay, I'm doing it! So you guys have way better reason than me.
Actually, if you think that's a bad reason, my reason's pretty bad. I only went to the first meeting because I wanted to hang out with Maria here. And even before that, when I was talking to her about it, I was like, please promise me that I won't be a part of this play. I do not want to be a part of this play. And then I was sitting down, and then she was calling on everyone to do improv. And then she turns to me and says, well, are you ready to do yours? And just then I was like, oh man, I can't quit. I can't just say no. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it. And I did it. And then she really liked it. You guys really liked it apparently, and you kept me. And I stayed mainly because I really think that the message this thing has to give was really important. And it's improv, and I'm really strong with improv performances. So this was just definitely a good way for me to do what I'm good at to get out a good message. So yeah.
Good job.
Right on.
Batteries in man still.
So Ms. Barbara, you're the ringleader here. Why did you pull this motley crew of
I wanted to do it. I got these kids in mock trial, and I would coach them through the witness stands, learn how to be witnesses. But I really want to be a director. I'm a bossy person, and this is my chance to direct a play. And so I asked a few of them if they would do it, thinking maybe 2 or 3, but a whole bunch of kids showed up. And then because we had no script, so we started playing around with improv, and they were so good at it. Everybody was they nailed the parts that I gave them. I was like, oh. And then it began to flow after that. It's like, this is exactly what I want to do.
Now, what were you all hoping to accomplish with the show?
I just really want. Actually, after my first play, Midsummer Night's Dream, I had a lot of fun. I loved the people so much. I really loved them.
You broke
I
the girl's heart.
Yes, shut up. Don't remember that. Okay. Sure, but but it's a terrible reason. It's a terrible reason. The only reason why I wanted to do this again, because if the play went well, there's an after party, and I love that food, so free food anytime for me that I'm in it.
Oh, you're awkward.
Before serious.
That wasn't even a question. No.
I wanted to do the play because I feel like kids need to know that they're okay just as they are. And I wanted to show all these different kinds of kids. And some are party people, and some are studiers, and some are, various, pregnant and, worried about their grades. And I wanted everybody to know, you're okay just as you are. That life is a process, and that we keep learning as we do. And I wanted to make that point. And I feel like, I think we did it.
And that's what I think this play, I like the fact that it's free, because most of the students hear, okay, oh, there's another play, and oh my gosh, I only have $1 in my pocket. So this one makes it more easier to connect to other people, and students like me, like us, that each one of us represent somebody out there. And I believe that each one of us actually touch their hearts somehow, their minds, that look, you're not alone. We know what you're experiencing because we're experiencing it. And look, we're somewhat this, probably a little, because each person is unique from experience and everything, but look, we're almost the same. We need friends, like you need one, I need one. And we just need to stick together and be stronger. And I think the people who watch actually, oh, look, that's true. You actually said something. It's every time, as after the play, people are just saying, you did a great job, and they keep talking about the play, which means they actually got that message.
What I was hoping to accomplish was kind of more selfish. Because, I'm the type of person who likes drama, thespians, NFL, mock trial, and I have all these friends who are good at this stuff. And I'm like, they didn't get to join plays. Why didn't I get to join a play? My mom doesn't want me to join a play, but then I want to join a play. And I want to prove to myself that I can do it. I want to prove to them that I can do it. So why not? So that's why I joined the play.
Now,
And that's what I hope to accomplish.
one thing that I found interesting about the play is that each one of you comes out as who you really are, right? Well, no, I mean, on not who you really are, but the character
Yeah.
that you play comes out of the facade, and you sort of see the real people behind each of these characters. Is that something that you feel happens in real life, and like you feel that in your everyday existence that you have to wear a mask, and that maybe that's one thing that was different about this play is you got the chance to blow the lid off those masks? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so
Everyone did.
Because you see, like inside you're this crazy freak, or there's just one side of you that you can't always show to people because people will not appreciate it, or they'll just think, hey, you're like a freak, or you're annoying,
different.
shut up.
They won't understand.
Yeah, they won't understand. That's why if you put a mask on, people will think, hey, you're okay, and then you could be a freak with your other friends that will accept it, but you can like keep it cool with the friends that don't accept it.
That's
Which is why we did what we really think. That's why we froze everybody, because we wanted somebody to go out in the audience and say, I'm really scared. This is a frightening thing. I had a terrible experience before, and I'm just trying to rise above it. So, because we don't usually tell this to each other. Even
Never.
So this is a chance to really be real.
I
Big on real. Authentic. Yeah.
Au natural.
Yo, the only thing is that people they don't see you for you. They see what you act like. For example, okay, if your mother passed away, when you come to school smiling, inside you're not actually smiling. You're like, oh, I'm gonna like go. I want to go home. I'm not gonna stay here and learn about math. I hate math. But then, yeah, you go around school. You're during lunch. You're like, hey, Joseph.
Like so happy.
Like you're so happy, and you're like, but then when nobody's looking, you're like,
Oh my God.
Oh, I had to deal with this again. It's like,
Like-
I think everyone of us.
ew.
Like as high schoolers, we're all naturally like curious, or we're all naturally like we always start to think, what do other people think of me as? Do they think of me as annoying? Yeah. Do they think of me as like a good person or a bad person? That's something we think about a lot, and we just can't stop thinking about it because I don't know. It's like if you're a teenager, that's what you think about every single second of the day. Like you
So
try
much
to.
paranoia.
The thing is, you try to please the crowd.
Yeah.
The only way you please the crowd is by saying, "Hey, I'm different from the crowd. I don't follow the crowd." But really, you're doing the same thing.
It's
You're
like
like,
this.
I'm not
like,
like you.
like,
I'm my own
like
person.
say you start drinking alcohol and you're just like, "Yeah, I'm different. I'm not goody two shoes like you." But really, you're just drinking alcohol because your friends are drinking.
So with all of that said, what did you want the audience to take away from this? Because there's still a chance that actually a lot more people are going to see this when we cut all this film together.
Yeah.
So what are you hoping to accomplish with the audience? What do you want them to take away from
I want
this?
them to see what you see is not always what you get. Like just because you see a happy girl doesn't mean she doesn't have her sad moments.
You have to kind of look into that person and actually understand what they're going through and try to, for me, don't judge a person by like, okay, ooh, cool, he's happy, or look, he's not like that kind of girly girl past or something. Not judgment, don't judge, just try to get into that person and see there's something more. Try to see what's good. I don't know, I try to see what's good in the person and just take away the negatives.
Get to know one.
I actually think that what we tried was Aurora in my line. It's not what you do, it's what you learn from what you do. If we all make mistakes. I mean, yeah, I almost killed the person in the play. Actually, 2 people shot. I almost killed 2 people in the play. Yeah, that was a mistake. But some people actually do that in real life with like drunk driving and stuff like that. I know that it's a big mistake, but sometimes you just gotta forgive yourself. Sometimes you gotta like forgive the other person, even if they did something wrong.
Because we all make mistakes.
Because we all make mistakes.
For me, I think theater served as a new medium as to how we convey such message that we're trying to convince others, because it's so cliche to hear infomercials and to see brochures and to have people present to your class with the same old PowerPoint. And me being a very advocating person, I see they used to say that theater is like the lightning rod between the writer and the audience, and in this play, the writers were the actors as well. So it was a really huge twist, and it really made us feel at home with our script, and really we became the forefront of relaying our message.
You know, the teacher in me is going to come out here. A lot of people, you know how Shakespeare has been accused of not writing his own plays? One of the reasons why that accusation continues is that as a theater troupe with All the King's Men and, you know, his theater group, the plays would change each night because the actors would take ownership of it. And they would try different lines. That's why there's so many different folios and different versions. So this history, this tradition of interactive theater with the writers taking ownership stems all the way back to then. And that actually kind of segues into my next question, and that is, what was this like doing, you know, unscripted theater? Because it's very common in theater sports, like Wild and Out or Whose Line Is It Anyway, right? Yeah. Essentially, that's what you did, but you did a dramatic spin on it, and I've only seen that done once. So,
Are we starting
but like, what was that like? I mean, I would be, as a dramatist, I would be scared to. As a director, I would be so scared to go unscripted every night.
I feel that since we're all teenagers, we know what we go through, and since most of us here are friends, we know that there's some bond between us, and we can always play off each other. Because Joseph's really strong in impromptu, I'm strong in impromptu, Jules really strong in impromptu, and so is Jane and Maria. So
Everybody
in this play.
Everybody in this play is really strong in impromptu. So I'm guessing that with our strengths, we play off each other, and we sort of have an idea of what the other person's gonna say. So you can pretty much figure things out.
So there was one day in the beginning, I think we're in the third rehearsal, when JD and Maria said, "Where's the script? If I can have a script."
Yeah, see,
You know, and it was kind of like, I've written 10 books. I know I could write the script. It isn't about writing the script. It's about you saying the lines and writing your own script. And like Carlos go, "What do I say?" I said, "You know what to say. Just say what the character would feel in that situation."
Yeah,
And everybody rose to the occasion.
Ms. Barber, that made a lot of people run away, screaming.
Yeah.
You think about it, like, oh my god. You know, when there are plays when I know what to say, like competitions where I know what to say. I have it right here in front of me, and I still freak out. So imagining it happen, like, you don't have script, you don't have lines, you don't have set lines. You're just staring at the audience, and you're like thinking, what are my lines? Oh right, I don't have lines.
Exactly.
But that actually made me feel better. It's like you're thinking about it, like, okay, what do I have to say next? And then you're like, wait. Who knows?
Nobody knows.
Is that if you got on the stage and you froze, it'd be no problem. Because you wouldn't have to think, "Oh my God, what do I have to say?" It's like, "Oh, but this character has to bring a certain point along. I'll just say what it should be saying." And nobody froze. Nobody froze.
It made all of us like feel very powerful with our lines, because we stem off each other, and knowing that we stem off each other, we depended on each other for each scene. So it was a working process with your co-actor or whoever was in your scene.
We're just trying to find
I love
it.
I love being the loose cannon in this thing. I gotta say whatever I want. I didn't have to like be chained to a script like I'm usually in like every other play I'm in. I'm chained to a script where I have to say, "Oh, I have to memorize this." Here I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna say that," and to you I'm gonna kick you.
Of course, I had to say, this is not the Bruce Lee show.
You had to say that at least twice. Honestly, I hated the fact that we didn't have a script,
I know.
because I like having my lines in front of me.
We were like
There.
control freaks.
Like if I have lines there, I know what to say. I know what's supposed to happen. I know exactly when my cue is. But instead, I have to keep looking out, and be like, okay, when is he leaving? Like, damn it, Joseph. Like, look at your watch now.
It kept us on our toes a lot.
Yeah. So,
I think everybody's sort of floundering a little bit in the beginning, and then I decided one day just to do a cue to cue, which would be like, you come in, you go out, you come in, you go out, and everybody knew, and once everybody knew where they needed to be at what time, then it all fell together. I think everybody got calm. It was almost like a developmentally, than you do with children, you know.
You
You walk
saw
here,
that.
you walk here, you walk in, and then after that, it was a piece of cake.
And then
Everybody did their line.
this was so
The lines just
awesome.
come to you.
You can make it as long as you want.
I'm so proud.
Except for me, I had to keep it under 3
It's
minutes.
just like, I don't know, this is one of the biggest accomplishments I can
Yeah.
consider it
In-
in sophomore year, high school year.
Yeah.
This is something that I would remember, definitely.
Yeah.
Honestly, I never thought we'd actually pull this off. I was
Like when the whole time we were thinking, how is this gonna tie in the end, and how is the
Yeah.
audience gonna understand?
Yeah.
But look, we actually went to all together and worked it out and like, oh my gosh, we pulled us some.
Yeah.
We didn't just pull out something, we pulled out something awesome and
Yeah.
great, something amazing, something that
Something
everyone else was like,
on
that doesn't make sense. Oh wait, honestly,
Wait, it makes sense now.
now it does.
Now
Now
it makes
it was like, no, I have to write a script. No. honestly though, I kind of stopped. Like the moment I really liked the improv thing was when I was on stage. I was like, Joseph has like a 6th grade reading level, and I'm like, wait, he's holding a book. That book is at least 7th grade. Like I could never do that with a pre-written script.
Yeah.
You'd freak out. You'd be like, oh my god.
Like, what did I say?
Yeah.
So
Is this right?
now, did all of you know each other really well beforehand? Or?
Yeah.
Most of us.
Okay.
So
I met Cardi back
who
once.
is sort of the,
It's your sister.
who are some of the new people to, is this like, are you guys a group that gets along and hangs out a lot?
Not as much as you think.
Okay.
It's like Mo
Okay.
trial.
We only
So-
got a few in my trial.
But even then, we don't
And
live
then
together
it's
in school
Me,
because, yeah,
me,
once.
Carlo, Carlene, Maria, Bruce, we rated play before this one.
Yeah.
It's called Midsummer's Night's
And
Dream.
we just pulled in Megan from art class, so she was there like, Megan, we're having a play, we want you in it. I was the one who dragged her in here with
So-
Oh, that's because
Okay.
So Megan, so this is something very new for you, right?
Yeah.
This is quite a courageous way to start theater. What worked for you? What helped you get comfortable with everybody?
Actually, Jo did a lot of help. She helped me a lot. She made me practice and do everything until I got it right. And finally I did, and it was a great experience.
So the control freak here is the one that.
The student council president in love with Carlo.
I take that as a compliment.
So let me ask you this question: how far apart are your characters from your real selves?
Very.
Oh,
Not pregnant. Not pregnant.
Yes, right, yes.
Guys, the thing is, I'm not usually the one throwing the party, I'm usually the one going to the party, and I do not do drugs. I am a jerk, but I do not do drugs.
Nothing traumatic has ever happened to me, and I am not that possessive over Maria, and I don't hate Joseph.
This entire time, I've been wondering that.
And I'm not touchy-feely. I'm not like, I'm not sensitive or whatever.
I think the only thing that makes my character different than who I am actually is the fact that usually the girls I hit on aren't scripted to say yes. So yeah, there's that.
And I'm so far away from my character. I actually ask out people and I'm hitting on people. Seriously, I've never hit on people.
Dude, I love your line, my name's Carlo Okaya, bro.
We had this great moment, we're all just sitting around talking, and Joseph started talking about this thing that happened to him when he was a young man, you know, this woman who was getting dark. And he's telling the story just kind of conversationally, and I'm saying, that is such a great story. Can we use it? Can we use it in the play? And I thought you were very brave to say yes, because, you know, it was a dramatic moment for you, and yet you exposed yourself, and everybody probably asked you now.
Well, they definitely ask now. Like, hey, do you really think you're uglier than a dog?
You are not here in the dog.
That's supposed to be one handsome dog.
No, Joseph. Your hair is so much better than. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
But I
that's
gotta
bad for
say
comfort.
something about your, I gotta say something about your shirt, dude.
So
I'm bossy. And I am bossy.
Yeah.
But I would never, ever think to run for student council president.
Or
Okay,
like
that's
Carlo.
life.
Or like
That's
Carlo.
my life. That's
Or
my
like
life.
Carlo, you never like Carlo.
Art imitates
That way-
life imitates art. So, I just have one last question. How have you changed as a result of this show? Like what?
That's a good question. Oh, okay. I guess. Huh?
Should we go down the line again?
Yeah, yeah,
I heard.
Let's start with the person wearing the royal crown.
She should start. Well, okay, let's see. What was the question?
How have you personally changed as a result of this show?
She's still bossy.
Well, for one thing, I seem to have gotten myself pointed at the fact that my character in the play is a lot like my character in real life. It's true for some reason, and it made me realize some things that I didn't really want to think about before. So in a way, if the audience learned something from this play, I did too. I learned that I'm not really the person that I'm trying to make people see me as, because I'm different, or yeah, it's just, I think about all the time about how people think about me, and I guess that caused me to change, and I only realize that now because of this play, because I played in it and I realized, okay, that is so weird. I never realized that before. Yeah, that's what's really awesome.
Oh, my turn? Okay.
You finally realize that there are girls in your life?
Anyway, I learned to be more open with myself actually, and I learned that I actually love doing plays, so I'm planning to do some more in the future. And I learned a little on how to hit girls, so.
They will reject you every time.
No, did you hear what he said? He said, I learned how to hit girls.
Wrong message. You were asking.
To ask a girl out a little.
No, you don't ask a girl out like that. Hey baby, I'm Carlo Kaya. Come on.
That's not how you ask a girl out.
Anyway.
A little.
Okay. Let's see. I learned that I'm not as weak in improv as I thought I was. Cause like, the whole improv thing, I'm just like, oh god, I suck at it. I just can't, I just thought I couldn't do it, but I just learned that I can. And I also learned that I am a very jealous and possessive person. Yes. What's mine should stay mine.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Moving on.
Well, for one thing, I'm totally different from my character in the play. I wouldn't steal my best friend's crush.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and also I actually learned from Aurora's situation because just recently a friend or a few friends of mine tried to convince me to skip school to go to Manigawa with them, and I was like, what? And I know it was like the last week, but we shouldn't be skipping or anything. That's bad. And yeah, because yeah, before I would have gone because of peer pressure. Joseph knows I'm really bad at peer pressure. It's just.
That's how I get
It's just, because of the play, I've got some guts to actually say no to my friends.
Wow.
You got it from all of us.
That's a hassy.
Mercy's turn.
You learn about pregnancies.
Yeah.
And she learned about birth
She
control.
will never touch
Bruce?
my sister.
Oh, I didn't also learn that.
My possessiveness. My sister.
Like your sister, Tom.
Performance-wise, listening to everyone like, oh my gosh, there's no script, there's no script, there's no script. Jaden pulled me into, she didn't pull me into it, but she was just like, hey, do you want to play? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I found out it's improv. And then everyone's just like, improv.
I do not sound like that.
Yes, you did.
When I went through it, I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that, do that. I learned, I got over my stage fright. We all did. Yeah.
Nice.
This is a.
I went back to his comment.
Are you done?
Close possessive.
My turn yet.
I don't think I've changed much since I've been in like so many plays, so many competitions. Impromptu comes so easy to me. It's just it comes to my head really easy, but the words come out like Joseph, it's off. It's really off. But actually, what talking about myself, Joseph, don't worry. But what I learned is I should be less of a jerk and talk less. I'm serious. Like revelation. Talk less, be less of a jerk, Bruce. Okay, you're done.
All right. We'll go on this end and then we'll end. Okay.
Okay, this play has really changed me because I used to be a really close person. I wasn't really good at making friends, and this taught me how. And I guess I learned how to be more open to other people and to new things as well. And that's basically how I changed in this play.
Yeah, I missed it. Thank you for your story.
Okay, what I learned? Well, probably it's more of, even though there's a lot of circumstances, at first you're like, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna do a play. But when you focus and actually think of the purpose of why you're doing it, and it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you're gonna get to your goal. Well, and you know your purpose why you're doing it. Well, first, I learned that if you do it for other people and you do it, plus the purpose of the play, which is expressing yourself and being who you are, just right there, focus, do it for others. I think you'll accomplish more if you do it for others and with a purpose attached to it.
What you learn, Joseph?
I learned that a lot of people don't like my hair.
Dude, I love your hair. It's a shirt.
Anyway, I learned that I have a hard time letting things go, actually. Like, I didn't know that until this play, because when it came to telling that dog story, a lot of it, like after we finished like fixing it, saying what parts should be included, what shouldn't be, a lot of it just came out so naturally. All that like pent up pain and aggression from just being rejected all those years ago just flowed out so well. I was like, why do I still feel these things? This was years ago. I'm literally a completely different person now. And then, yeah, I guess it just taught me that I have a hard time letting things go. And I guess from now on, I'm going to be working on letting things go easier.
Well,
How many brush do you have on this girl, bro?
Not much anymore.
Start with frisbees. Okay, as for me, it was kind of difficult at first because we're in this relationship thing for this play, and aside from that, we don't really talk often outside of this play. So we were actually supposed to kiss for this play, but it was so weird. It was kind of awkward, but we did practice it, but it turned into a hug eventually because my mom is so conservative. Yeah, so for me, it really took me out of my comfort zone as an actor because in my play, that was like a few months ago, I fell in love with a woman who played a man. So that was difficult for me. That was difficult for me to really make it believable, falling in love with a girl trying to be a man, and now him. So it was.
A dog that looks like a man.
So it was really difficult for me at first to really get out there. And as for my character, she's very emotionally reserved and she tends to overanalyze things, and that's how I am in real life, so I could really relate, and I'm very confused of how people view me. So what I learned is that, just like he taught me during this play, is that to try new things. Yeah, get out of that comfort zone, because that's when you start living life.
Miss Barbara, what did you learn from this play?
You don't have to call the cops on Bruce.
These guys, I learned that I love doing this kind of theater, interactive, dynamic, authentic theater. And you guys helped me really appreciate how much fun it was to do. And so I plan to do a lot more of it. with you all as an ensemble.
Joseph.
But also with other adults, maybe working on parenting issues,
Yes.
talking about what it's really like to be a parent, maybe talking about aging issues, different issues. Because I think, as you're finding out, that theater is therapy. It's my next book.
Oh my God. Credit to us.
Am I gonna be able?
You just gave me an idea for the aging thing. What if Maria's the kind of girl like, oh my God, I'm aging. I see crow's feet. Well,
Wrinkles!
if we're still going to be in school, I'd be more freaked out about the fact that, oh my God, I have to go out into life. Yeah, and everyone is always talking about it. Like,
Everybody's so scared
I
of
know.
college and
Yeah.
I'm not.
and probably being.
like this.
So-
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But how did you change in any way or grow in any way?
Did I change? I've changed and I felt like I have a new lease on life. It was just like, because I've worked with kids for many, many years and loving it, doing games and being successful, but it was like, okay, I'm tired of that already. Suddenly this whole side of directing, organic, interactive theater came up and it's like, yes, this is what I want to do. So for me, it was a growth, it's an expansion of what I want to do next. So thank you to all of you for making it.
Thank you, Ms.
For
Barker.
me.
You know, thank
Thank you for letting us do
This
this.
experience was amazing.
Joseph, no.
No.
I know.
No Aunt Joseph today.
Joseph, today.
Or ever.
Well,
No,
thank
Carlo,
you
you-
very much. I think I have
I'm excited to see the results.
yeah, this is going to take a while to
It's
edit.
gonna take a while.
One of the things I want to point out to all of you, because we're looking at entering this into the Guam International Film Festival, and you're breaking new ground, not just from a theatrical standpoint. I mean, what you're doing has been done before, but what's going to make this hard about entering into the film festival, and I don't know the answer, so I hope, and I'm going to research, but you guys are going to also have to research this on your own, is in the performing arts and in art in general. Intellectual property is a huge deal. So the question is, who owns the rights?
Who owns the show? What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
shouldn't it be
No.
her since she started it all?
No, that's a great question because like we also wrote
Yeah, we
this
wrote
in a way because we were acting.
And you guys are not part of like a theater troupe, so it's not registered as an incorporated group.
We can make one.
Unless we make
But
one.
we are Voices of
We're
Mariana.
Voices Mariana.
There's Voices of Mariana. Is it still a legal entity?
Yeah, I guess. I pay $50 business license. I guess that means
Is it a profit or non-profit?
not a problem. I know, it's very unofficial, just from that one show we did.
Yeah, I don't think it's a non-profit.
Yeah, we didn't, I don't have any board of
So,
directors.
yeah, it's just gonna get hairy because this happens and you're gonna have to figure that out.
If anything,
How
it's
many
not-
are
Yeah,
here?
honest.
She brought us together, so
Yes,
shouldn't she
yes.
deserve it all?
Remember, we are Voices of
Yeah.
Mariana.
But the thing is, though, we all made it so we all kind of like own it at the same time. Yeah, that's the thing. But then in my view, it
I don't
doesn't
have
matter.
an answer.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
I
matter.
throw it out there or something.
I mean, who's gonna, what repercussions gonna possibly be
So we have
from
such
not having that?
Well, the rule of thumb in law, I hate to think this way, but as a president of the school, you always think worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst case
Yes.
scenario is maybe the best case scenario. This becomes the next big hit, right?
Oh.
Like this goes viral on online and people like Hollywood studios want to buy the rights to it. So who do they approach? Let's say they approach you, right? They're like, okay, this is Voice of Mariana, blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't know, Miss Control Freak here says, wait a minute, I helped write that. I deserve a share of the profits.
Then one
Right.
day, then we
That's
can
how you are,
then-
you will.
Yeah, that's how you are.
Yeah.
No, and this always
Yeah.
happens with creative.
Yeah, no matter what you say about it, it always does.
So I'm just throwing it out there. It may be something as simple as everyone becoming incorporated members of. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. I don't have an answer. It's just.
Why don't we just all become Voices of Mariana? Why don't we just join the
Can we
podcast?
make another show troupe? Or is it too late? Or if you try to buy the rights, it could be like 50, 10, 10, 10, because we're all 10 people. Oh wait, the minus.
I'll just give it, I'll give it from this board.
Yeah, I think Ms. Barbara should stay.
I'm okay.
I mean, we may have wrote it,
As long
but
as
she directed it.
she directed it.
She can get all the money, but we just become famous.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
I'll be
Or-
Yeah, of course.
And for me, entering it into gift, like, there's gonna need to be some paperwork that acknowledges, like, that if you agree to that, there needs to be a written agreement. to
Which
that.
means there's a prize.
We
Is
have
there a
some-
prize for that? Is there a prize for that?
There might be. There might be.
Might be a prize. I went to it last year, now that.
Oh, you were there?
Last year, at the International Film Festival in Guam.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's neat, because I thought, oh, I want to be in one of those films, so that's good.
I have
But I don't remember there being a prize, so.
But still, like, just for the paperwork, like, you're gonna wanna know, okay,
We'll have to sign the permission, give your permission, understand that.
yeah, and especially anyone under 18.
Oh,
Except for this one.
Then there's all sorts of parental consent stuff, so.
Oops, that's.
okay, that's hard. My mom is like me.
So you have until like mid-July to figure this stuff out.
I'm fine.
I won't
I
be
think
here
I'll just
till
ask for that.
I'm leaving in the end of this month, so.
Why don't we just get a permission slip, everybody sign one, I'll write it up, maybe tomorrow I'll send it to you, get your parents to sign it, just so.
I'm sure if you spend a little bit of time online, you'll find something.
I'd be able to close, yeah.
So, but yeah, I hate to be that wrinkle, but if we're gonna enter this, like if we weren't gonna send this over to Guam International Film Festival, this wouldn't really be an issue, but it might be.
But if somebody liked it, they said, oh, that's so great, I wanna distribute it or put it somewhere else.
Would be
How's that-
great.
how does that work?
Then you damn well sure better have the copyright to it.
Yes, you copyright. Right.
And there are a lot of funky ways to do it. The easiest way I've researched is you basically write a letter to yourself and receive it in the mail so it's postmarked, and that somehow makes you some legal entity.
That sounds great.
Ooh,
that's
I
so
don't
weird.
know. Just put rights reserved like we usually do.
You know, you can't do that, but like you.
It's
Process. I just say because if you don't own the bona fide copyright on it, then someone else could steal it. Like I could be the conniving
Oh.
filmmaker and say, "Whoa!"
Grab this camera, guys!
It's too late.
You
So-
guys can get a copyright, so maybe we could write the whole, everybody can write their parts up, we could actually
Oh,
make a
I don't
script.
I don't want it written
Yeah.
down.
I don't want to read it.
It doesn't have to be written up because it's like a documentary. It's sort of like improv theater. You know, like whose line is it anyway? Not
Yeah.
scripted, but you know that Drew Carey owns the copyright to that.
You're carrying.
To the whole show. Yeah.
You're
You know, it's
carrying.
copyright to the whole show.
He and his troupe. So
Yeah,
that's just
yeah,
there's time to figure it out, but yeah.
We'll figure it out soon.
Sorry.
I want a true